Check the board. Run the score. Hear this crowd roar. Polymarket won't resolve for how many more hours? Wake up, phone jump. Whole day lit, Bitcoin chart green and it fake out flip. Cow she got smoke, Polymarket got flames. MGM is sweating when the smart money came. Tip off, puck drop, first pitch heat. New clay court king just crowned the 3 seed. Parlay alive with the leg on the line. One bad tweet, got the market doing time. Everybody got tapes, we got receipts. Everybody got locks, we got the keys. Numbers don't sleep, lines don't lie. If the odds start talking, you gon' know why. Check the board. Run the score. Hear this crowd roar. Polymarket won't resolve for how many more hours? They got the spark. Coma cut noise. Bread break bread with the sharpest boys. Feature guest weekly. New heat lands. Bread pulled up. Almanac had glands. Bucket got buckets when the shots get poured. Stitch got threads when the takes get scored. Add space? Nah, that's tools in the kit. Stacking up signal, then stitching up fit. Politics jumping, crypto got mood. Mention markets moving off somebody's fuel. Trump says one thing, timeline gets loud. Iran headline got oil in the crowd. From courtside seats to ticker tape parades. We don't chase news, we catch the shape. Game got pressure, market got nerve. Price tells the story before the curve. Who got NBA? gmPM. Who got NHL? gmPM. Who got MLB? gmPM. Who got NFL? gmPM. Crypto? gmPM. Politics? gmPM. Parlays? Receipts? gmPM. Check the board. gmPM. Run the score. gmPM. Crowd loud, odds louder. gmPM. Markets move by the hour. gmPM. Stats in the morning. gmPM. Chaos by noon. gmPM. If it moves, we move. gmPM. You know the tune. Sports markets headlines. Receipts. Dave Comer brag. gmPM.
You're muted, my friend.
Oh, and I'm muted. You know it. Obviously, that's the best way to start. It's Monday, boys. What do you want me to tell you, right? What's good, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of gmPM. This is episode number 10. We started reworking a little bit of the formats. We got a couple of things cooking. We got a special guest with us here today that we're going to get to in a couple. But there is a lot for us to cover. Today, we're going to cover some news stories. There's some Polymarket news, Kalshi IPO news. You guys are going to get the demo of probably like the most boss sports trading platform out there. So let's get active in the chat. But let me say what's up to the boys. First, Coma, Bread, what's good?
Yo, yeah, crazy weekend. It was really fun. Huge number of like the games were just like up and down, like a lot of draws, a lot of well, I'm talking about footy, soccer, whatever you want to call it. But World Cup, yeah, it was a chaotic weekend, but it was really fun to watch overall. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. We could definitely talk about all the games for sure.
Oh, show, man. Honestly, like just quick little teaser. When I was watching the Cabo Verde game against Uruguay, I was like, yo, that was probably one of the best games. We'll get to it, but that was probably one of the best, even though it ended in a draw, probably one of the best games that I've watched this entire tournament. 100, hands down, the most exciting shit ever. Because you want to root for these guys, and you're like, let's fucking go for Zinho. You know what I mean? Brad, what's up? And then I'm going to say what's up to Ronit.
GM gang, not too bad. Yeah, exciting weekend of World Cup games. We had the U.S. Open, dude. Congrats, Wyndham Clark, I guess. You know, I've got my own feelings about him as a person, but, you know, congrats on winning the U.S. Open. You know, that was a crazy course over at Shinnecock. But, yeah, no, excited to be here, chat all things prediction. Dude, the Polymarket stuff is wild. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into that. That's
I know, we're going to get
stuff.
to it. We are definitely going to get to it. But, Ronit, welcome, man. You are our special guest today from the DG3
What's up, P?
Trading Terminal. What's going on, man? Give us a quick intro.
Yeah, man, absolutely excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's Kuma, Brad, and Dave. Yeah, at office, it's the World Cup fever. As we in this part of the world, we call it football, soccer, and yeah, excited to be here. In fact, I'm more excited to show and talk a lot about DG3, which is our trading terminal for sports prediction markets.
Let's go.
Kuma has tried a bit. I guess Dave, you and Brett have tried it too.
Yeah.
So,
Super fun. Yeah. And I think like a lot of people really don't understand. They're probably like sports trading terminal. Think like if whether you're crypto DJ and you're an equities trader, like you have to have some sort of a setup. And what we're going to do in the second half of this show is we're going to show you guys how actually trading sports is not as like if you're still trading just on the Polymarket UI, this is your edge, right? Like we want to be able to show you like how you can genuinely utilize these tools if you're genuinely trading on a daily basis, how you can utilize the DG3 trading terminal. Because Coma and I just started testing it out. Of course, Coma just wins. I don't know how Coma just keeps winning, but Coma has some trade. We have some slips that we want to show as well. But yeah, where do we want to start, boys? Should we start? Let's start the news and then we'll go World Cup and then World Cup into DG3. I think will be perfect for us. But
yeah,
I saw this morning Polymarket. Listen to this crazy story from I saw it on the Coin Bureau account. But Polymarket paid creators to stage $1.9 million in fake bets. A Wall Street Journal investigation reviewed 1,105 videos posted by Polymarket creators and found that none of the bets were real, which is crazy. Creators were filming trades on fake copies of the Polymarket website and getting paid $2,000 to $3,000 a month to post them. The same bets they showed as wins would have actually lost over $166,000. Polymarket says it will now audit its promotional content. For being on-chain, verifiability, and all this shit, how is this even a story? Like, Polymarket being able to do this, I don't know, man. But Coma, when you read this, what was your initial thought? Because this genuinely doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, sure, I think Polymarket is doing it about Polymarket is one thing, but we live in crypto, and I feel like LARPing and faking views and faking being a KOL. Like I think one thing that InfoFi and Kaido kind of revealed is that everyone is just like botting their accounts, or they're just coming up with some way to make themselves look better. And I'm not surprised, like if it's being done on Polymarket or if it's being done on Kalshi. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not surprised if everyone is LARPing on their own like betting accounts. HTML, is a real thing. Like just double clicking and editing something saying that you made $1 million. Like it's not hard to do, right? So the reality is like, sure, it's Polymarket, and like Polymarket has a lot of like people on it at the end of the day. You can't audit everything, right? So like to a certain extent, I understand, but at the same time, I guess if you're paying these creators, then there's some accountability. I'm sure even with Ronin and like the creators he works with, like he wants to make sure these aren't fake creators, right?
True.
Yes. Yeah. So the onboarding eligibility process in itself takes a lot of parameters into account. And actually, I echo my thoughts over here with what Kuma said, right? Actually, Polymarket grew very fast. So when a company grows in that explosive way, right, the internal processes are not always up to the mark. So it's like that analogy in a lot of books, right? In startups, they talk about that you fall down off a cliff with the different parts of a plane, and by the time you hit the bottom, you have to build the plane that can fly, right? So if you think of it from that angle, I would have some sympathy with Polymarket guys. I think they'll do right. But like Kuma said, right, you can just go to inspect element and edit the amount and then post it as your screenshot of the trade. So hard to believe really what happened,
I mean, listen,
I think the investigation will come out.
It's a good point, right? Like every new company, Brett, when we really talk about this, right? Like it's not crime per se, as we would normally classify it in crypto, but every new, like you have to start, like you need an edge somewhere, right? Like, it's like, what are we going to do? It's like, we don't know how to get these creators on board. Fuck it. Let them post fake slips. I'm not so mad about it, but yeah.
How many times have we told, in different groups and different chats, like, hey, don't just trust screenshots. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, or it's like when the people post the P&L screenshot, but they have like the ticker blurred out, you know, it's like, what's the next one to do this? You know, it's that type of stuff. And so I'm not surprised necessarily, you know, again, like Coma said, I mean, I think it's something that Kalshi and Polymarket are probably both guilty of doing here. You know, it's just, where does it land on deceptive, you know, practices versus effective marketing? You know, it's a weird thing there.
I think people are going to forget. Like this is the story for today and this morning. But tomorrow, I think it's going to be over, right? Like we have such short memory spans when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, who cares? Okay, cool. Like Polymarket paid a couple of people. Like, all right, they spent I don't know how much. I think I saw the story where the guy was paying them from like his like one of the founders or like the guy that was in charge was like paying them from a personal PayPal account. I was reading also. There's just so much stuff. I don't know. Like this is today's like cool story, like funny story. Come tomorrow, I think everyone's going to forget about this and be like, all right, cool, business as usual. That's it. Because when you're doing as much volume as these guys are actually doing, I think the latest stat that I saw from this past, it was a record week. I think it was almost like $11 billion in weekly volume, right? Like something like that, Ronit. Like that's crazy. So when you're
at the start of the year before the World Cup, right? They were estimating the total prediction market trading volume to be somewhere around 280, 300 billion, but they did not anticipate the volume that will come from FIFA. I think that estimate has jumped up a bit, not a bit actually, 20-25% to probably $400 billion of total prediction market volume. Right? Wow. So FIFA has been a major booster. It's been a game.
I mean, there's literally nothing like FIFA. I mean, every post that I'm seeing, even on the marketing side, right? Like guys that are running creator platforms are like FIFA, it's once every 4 years, right? And I think like I've been screaming this from the rooftops where like this literally, like you think like the Super Bowl for the United States, like here in America is like a big deal. This dwarfs everything, right? Like this is, I mean, it's not even close from the views that people are getting, right? Like on different like creator platforms to like how much actual just attention this is driving. It's crazy because it's literally like it's the whole world. And that also comes out with money. Yeah. And trading.
Absolutely. They have to give you a bit more context on that, right? If you look at the Dune dashboard, right? In May, the total notional volume for May was $31 billion, notional volume. And June by 21st, 22nd has already crossed that. And we are already at $32 billion, right? So that push and jump from FIFA has definitely kicked in.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. And this is now still going because we're just now finishing up. Like I think almost all teams have played their 2 games. Group winners are now decided. And now like third place teams are coming. So there's still way more soccer to play, right? Like when we go to the knockout, more football to play. When we go to the knockout rounds, there's a lot. Like I think when's the final here in MetLife Stadium? I think it's July 13th. So there's still another 3-4 full like weeks of this going on now. So I think these numbers are just going to keep going up. Yeah. Crazy.
I mean,
stuff.
And you're already seeing the impact. From a non prediction market point of view, like these goalies are going from like 20,000 followers to like a couple million. Know that soccer is like global. Football is global. Like it is global. It's money, Dave. This is why FIFA has so much power. And so many rules and restrictions.
Super popular. I think you're talking about the Cabo Verde's keeper. I think he went from some 40,000 followers to I think some 5-10 million followers.
12 million, Ronit. 12 million followers on Instagram. This guy got crazy. Crazy. I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's so crazy. But like watching some of the games, it's been. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but we'll get to the games in a few. But other news, another quick story. How do we feel about Kalshi IPO? We were talking about this like pre-show, right? Like before we went live, and I was saying, I would have thought obviously like there's obviously talks like Kalshi's now talking to all these different investment banks, right? I would have thought that Polymarket, given their like initial, like the main investor was ICE, right? Like the Intercontinental Exchange, which is the parent of the New York Stock Exchange. I would have thought Polymarket would have been kind of first to this whole thing. And now you kind of have to see like, wait, is this whole Polymarket, did Kalshi put out this story on Polymarket because everyone saw the whole Fox News kind of like let's kind of see if we could piece this story together. And is it a Polymarket hit piece by Kalshi? I would have thought that Polymarket goes to IPO first, but here we are. Kalshi's literally talking to all these different investment banks. Ranit, what do you think about the like upcoming potential like Kalshi IPO? And do you think it's going to be something that, it's probably going to outperform? I mean, we had SpaceX, but $22 billion valuation. How are you feeling about a Kalshi IPO?
I won't compare it to SpaceX IPO.
Not close.
Definitely not close. But see, as a builder and as a founder in this space, I would look at it as a very positive news. Honestly speaking, what an IPO does is it first brings a private company out there public, right? So it brings in capital. It makes the company more mainstream. Not that Kalshi is not already mainstream, but when a company like Kalshi goes IPO at that level of valuation, even in, let's say, USA, the watchdogs, or I would say the viewers across the world look at it, right? The regulators start looking at it from a different perspective. The regulators from different other countries, where let's say prediction markets are not welcomed so much, they would look at it. They would follow the path of a company that went IPO in a regulated industry in USA. So I welcome that news, definitely. As a terminal, we are honestly speaking super neutral ideologically towards venue. We don't have, I would say, preference to that because whoever wins, we win. So I would probably, those are my 2 cents. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Koma, what do you think? Like Kalshi IPO? I mean, I love it. I think where the trajectory is going for this is going to be crazy. But Koma, what's your take on Kalshi potential IPO?
Sign me up. Look, I'm very interested in. I mean, I think this is more bullish on like Polymarket as well, just because competitors and everything like that. I know we're talking about random stuff, but there is a possible alpha right now. There's a match in WTA happening at this moment. Ruzik versus Marcinko. If you guys are listening, I'm giving you alpha. Like this Ruzik chick, she's like hurting pretty bad. So there might be an opportunity for you guys to jump in. Just letting you know, she's at like 35 cents. So if you guys want to jump in now, it's an NFA, of course, but the Ruzik girl looks pretty injured. But we'll see how it goes.
Wait, Ruzik's at 35 cents right now?
Ruzik's at 64 cents, but I think the other girl is actually I think Ruzik's injured. So like there's a possibility here. But of course it might lose. Who knows? We'll see. But at 30 cents, it could be worth it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just letting you know. Yeah, like I'm in some like 10S alpha groups and these guys are like just blasting right now. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just take a quick look, and yeah, it could be worth it. So if anyone's listening in, this is the alpha that I try to provide, and I made the trade on DG3. So you know what, this is all working very well.
Let's go. Bernie, you see what I'm talking about? Like we're literally on the live stream and this dude is doing 50 other things, looking like trying to be like the sharp and trying to figure out like where's the edge on a random WTA tennis match in the middle of the day. Meanwhile, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning for Koma.
Yeah. But I mean, I may be wrong though, because this other girl is just not very good. That's the problem. So even if apparently an injured Ruzik could still win against
I guess we'll see how the slip turns out. But yeah, Koma, you got people asking alpha groups? Where at, bro? People want to know.
They can't join mine, but yes. Yeah. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, go Kalshi.
Let's go. Brad, thoughts on the Kalshi IPO?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's let's see what happens first, right? Will they do it first, or will like Polymarket? I mean, ICO, right? With Polymarket, a month ago, everyone was talking about this Poly token, the Poly airdrop, the Poly L2, all this stuff, right? And like maybe they're gonna ICO instead of IPO, right? And so I don't know. Let's kind of, I'm not holding my breath, especially with all of the latest news happening around, quantitative easing and everything else that's happening in like the broader markets. It'll be interesting to see if by the end of the year, either of them can pull off an IPO or an ICO. I feel like SpaceX kind of took a bunch of liquidity from the sidelines and kind of rolled it all into SpaceX. So I don't know who's got dry powder sitting around for a Kalshi IPO. I mean, if they do, I'm in. But
this is the beauty about IPOs, right? Where kind of what Ronit was saying is you open yourself up now. And look, coming from the equities world, right? Like I spent a lot of time I spent 13 years on a trading desk. So like understanding this, like this entire arena, like you open yourself up to all these monster funds, right? Like nobody can, like Fidelity can't invest, like nobody could put their retirement money into a prediction market platform until now you have IPO and you put yourself on this stage. So you open yourself up, and I don't know. I think it's just the beginning for prediction markets. Obviously, like we're here at the kind of at the forefront, like we're talking to builders like Ronit and so on. But like you guys see like the outreach just that we have of people that are building out here, so many different things like for prediction markets. I don't know. And now you're going to start seeing it weaved in now on your Fox News and your CNBCs, and you're going to see the scrolling tickers like we normally see on ESPN. We're now going to start seeing that for like general news. So I think it's going to be a monster thing. Like I'm bullish on Kalshi and Polymarket IPOs, like whenever they do happen. And Brett, by the way, I don't think I've said this from day one. I think they'd be crazy to do Poly token. Like I get it, yes. But Poly token to me didn't make sense initially. IPO first, and then they can have that conversation, in my opinion. But I guess
I agree. I don't think well, I mean, again, it's kind of went radio silent from them and their whole team, right? I mean, it was like this huge thing. Everyone was pumping about all these airdrop checkers. It seemed like every day somebody was launching a new, like, are you eligible for this airdrop and blah blah blah, and like nothing, dude, in weeks now. You know, so I don't know. Well, not holding my breath.
Did we get any news from the official channel?
Nothing, bro. Nothing. They released their new they hired like a new head of their development team, and we literally like their new CLI, whatever. I don't know the tech jargon, but from there, like we heard nothing, bro. Like literally, I have not heard a peep about anything Poly token or Poly chain. Have you, Brett, in the last, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, easy?
No, dude. And it was like, you know, they were well, it's kind of like, you know, they had these leaked screenshots, right? Yeah. I mean, which now with the latest news on Polymarket, like those were probably just fake. You know what I mean? Considering like half their screenshotted marketing was fake. So,
yeah. I mean, do you think the transition? I mean, what was the reason for the PUSD versus like, you know, like
so because like I remember this issue when we were doing it with Tater Trader is like when you had to move stuff over, like when you were trading. You were using USD on, it was USD.E on Polymarket. It was a different USDC or USDC.E, sorry. And I think the PUSD was kind of like almost like this unifying thing where whether you had regular USDC on Polymarket or USDC.E, it was all it was like PU, like Polymarket USD. So I don't know if it was the .E of the naming convention or what, but it was a pain in the ass, bro. Like it was literally a pain in the ass because it was like, wait, I got to convert. I have USDC on Polygon. Now I have to convert it to something else. So yeah, it was just,
it was the wrapped, you know, because like USDC was once Polygon went proof of stake from proof of work. They had to change contracts for USDC. So they started wrapping it. So USDCE is the staked Polygon version of USDC. And I think ultimately just to make things easier, they just created their own wrapping contract. And funny thing is on the back end, when you claim your winnings from Polymarket, right? For anybody that's not clicking buttons on the website, they know that you're getting USDCE anyway when you redeem your winnings, you know, and then you have to wrap it to PUSD before then go ahead and placing more predictions. So their back end is kind of a nightmare right now.
Yeah. Has the experience, last question, Brett, has the experience gotten any better? Because I know that it was all like, I remember just seeing Coma like in some of the groups being like, you couldn't see open orders sometimes. And I think this is going to segue into what we're going to talk about with Ronit in the trading terminal. But there were times when like you guys couldn't see like your open orders. Coma, have they fixed that? Brett, have you seen like any of this being fixed since they brought on this new like head developer or whatever?
No, more problems.
No, not really.
Have been created than problems solved. You know, I mean, ghost fills, open orders pending. I mean, I still have on one of my agents a baseball prediction that was a rain delay. That they played that game. They made up for the rain delay, but they never resolved the market. The market is still just open. You know, so
crazy. Let me ask, Bernie, obviously, like, you're building on Polymarket, right? Like, so have you seen some of like the issues that these guys are describing where it's like ghost fills, open, like you don't see some of your open orders using the Polymarket API? I'm assuming those problems then become your problems. Aren't like, is that the case? Have you seen any of that? Like, have you had any of those issues?
Yes and no. So the way I'd probably answer that question is that largely for us, the terminal was a function of users not being able to, pro traders not being able to get the intelligence required to place trades. But if I talk about ghost fills, right, Dave, and I would rather say that with crypto, right? So, for example, I traded WTI crude oil prop desks. If you understand the concept of spoofing, right? Let's say there's an order book, and there are large market makers, right, who are placing orders, right, on both sides. Spoofing is a crime in traditional world. So if I do spoofing, which means I place a big limit order on both sides, and then when the price is about to hit my limit order, I remove that, right? That's basically spoofing. It's basically a crime. It's a financial crime, and you can get there's high amount of penalty, probably jail time. That concept is super naturalized in the crypto world. Like, there's no point. You can literally spoof. There's no method of a ceiling or basically a floor, because what you see, let's say you see there are $200 orders and then you see a $1 million order. You can't even rely on that price number, that because that person can just remove that order when the price goes down.
Yeah.
Right. It's just very normal generally across the whole industry. So when you say so I just see that replicated into Polymarket. Should I blame Polymarket? I don't know. But we're seeing that across the terminals, and I think the users have gotten used to a portion of it already. Folks who are crypto native, but when the institutional capital comes in, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of changes required to cater to them. I definitely am sure the likes of the Goldman Sachs, JP Morgans, or all the large funds, banks, etc. A lot of things I think need to be changed.
But I think that's going to be good, right? Because like if I look at this from like I remember sitting on the OTC equity market making side, right? And we could put whatever bids and offers we want, because as a market maker, your job is to provide liquidity where it doesn't exist, right? But now you see big player, like when I read like who are the big market makers in prediction markets now, you have a select few that have been doing it for a while. I saw Susquehanna, who lost like 24 million on like the Knicks one day, whatever. But the more that these big giants now come in, and in relation to obviously the IPOs, it's going to start getting more institutional adoption. The more these bigger guys come in, the better it's going to be, the better prices that us as the retail users are going to be able to receive, right? Like, this is where I think it's very different than crypto.
I definitely completely agree with you.
100%. All right, cool, boys. Let's jump into some World Cup games, and then we'll jump into the terminal. All right, let's give a quick. I know the last show that we aired was obviously Wednesday of last week, so that's literally like a lifetime. But some of the maybe the standouts. Brazil obviously bounced back against, thankfully, Haiti 3-0. Paraguay monster upset against Turkey 1-0. Japan came out dominant against Tunisia 4-0. Spain, Saudi Arabia, another blank 4-0. Like we were talking about earlier, Uruguay, Cape Verde was 2-2. What are you guys thinking of the game so far? I mean, they've been super, super, super exciting. U.S.A. obviously wins their group. They're coming out now. They're looking dominant as hell. Do we want to go game? We don't got to go game by game, but Como, what's your take on how the games have maybe been so far over the last few days? And are we excited now for knockout round?
Dude, I lost so much money on Brazil. Like, I had the over 3.5, and they scored 3 goals in the first half. And then, like, of course, like, I didn't cash out because, you know, like, it was like at 90 something cents, or it was at 90 cents. And I was like, it's Brazil and it's Haiti. Haiti has to like it, because if Haiti loses, then they're eliminated. So like you would think they would be more, but like, so I just lost. And then and then next thing you know, I see on X, like, some guy put $2 million or $1 million on under 3.5 Brazil, and he won. And I'm just like, what is life? Like, how is this even fair? That some guy made the completely wrong decision and somehow he still ended up winning. And then made me question, is this actually rigged? Like someone called Ancelotti, was like, hey, I need you to not
Anytime there's a losing trade, it's like this whole shit is rigged. When we win, and we're like, fuck yeah, we're geniuses. But when we lose, we're like, dude, this has to be rigged, bro. Like 3-zip in the first half.
By the way, that alpha that I just gave like 15 minutes ago, it won. My entry price was 32 cents, by the way. So hey,
really?
Let me tell you, I just made like $700. Can't complain, Like,
let's go.
All right.
Go. I love it.
It's good to be part of Alpha Groups. I'm just saying.
That's some sharp behavior. That's right. There's some sharp behavior.
And I traded on DG3, so
nice.
Once you have that share function, it's gonna be good. But yeah, overall, that was the only one that really screwed me. But luckily, Japan was able to pull through, and then I was able to recoup about half of that loss. So slowly getting back up after that.
And
our product guy is probably listening over there. Yeah, the share option will go live, I think, in a day or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
no, of course. I mean, it was just one of those things. I was like, this should be pretty obvious to have in my mind because I would love to just show my referral link.
Yeah, bro. The flexes are serious, bro. That's what gets the engagement, right? Like if you're looking to get your brand and your name across the timeline, and I say this to Como all the time. When when we had the show a couple of weeks ago, when you made that $7,500 in like 3 minutes, right? Posting those slips on the timeline, that's what gets people want to see. Like it's either you win big, you lose big. Either way, they love seeing the slip. So yeah, good stuff, bro. I like it.
I mean, Rona, I don't know if you were watching that show, but basically, I found that one of the tennis players withdrew while I was watching another tennis game. But then the bots and stuff didn't know that this actually was going to happen. So generally in tennis, when someone withdraws, it ends up being 50-50. So there was a gap where the favorite withdrew and he was at 70 cents and the other guy was at 30 something cents. Right. So I just full sent like almost like $19,000 into the underdog at 35 cents. Right. The guy withdrew and then he evened out at 50-50. So I made like that
40%
delta between the 30 to 50.
Yeah, those rules are a little different with Polymarket and prediction
That's
market.
Polymarket.
Right. But if you go to some traditional sports books, right, they have these rules based on which set are you in, right? If the match is forfeited before the first set, it's probably rollback, right? All folks get their money back. But after first set, I think it's whoever is ahead or something like that, or probably whoever stays back.
If you withdraw, generally they just cancel the bet. But like in Polymarket, because you're playing the other side, against the other side, there has to be some conclusion. So it's a very interesting glitch I found, but I tried to replicate it, but it's so hard. Like there's some very, very rich people that have access to these like information first, and there's just no way to get it. So it was one of those 1 in a million situations where I was able to spot it, and then I
absolutely made right. So in fact, we have one trader who basically is like an expert in esports, CS2. And that trader just knows the rules better than Polymarket. So he just keeps an eye on what's literally happening. And whenever he sees that gap or that glitch, or I don't know if I should call it a glitch, he basically makes a trade and makes money. He just makes money on the resolution rules.
Yeah.
Right? And makes about $100,000, $500,000 a day, of course.
That is insane.
What? God damn. Because the rule and Brett, you've literally been the one saying this the whole time, where you're just like, read the fucking rules. The majority of people that are placing like these bets or these predictions, they don't read the rules. They don't know how the market is actually supposed to resolve. So when something happens, they're like, wait, what? It's like, bro, GTA 6 ain't coming. Jesus Christ is coming before GTA 6. You know what I mean? So yeah, Brett.
Oh yeah, dude, those rules, man. Like, yeah, I mean, and we see it a lot more play out where the rule discrepancies happen with like the mentioned markets, and it's like, will Trump say, whatever, and ultimately it's like, oh yeah, but like he used it as an adjective instead of a noun, and so that because of that doesn't count, and it's like, well, and then everybody gets up in arms and whatnot. It's like, oh no, it says it right there in the rules, man, clear as day, you know, that it has to be in this context, or it has to be followed by this word, or if it's hyphenated, it doesn't count. You know, it's all of those types of things. And I mean, it's no different than in any of the sports markets too, you know? So, I mean, yeah, huge proponent for reading the rules, you know. This isn't rocket surgery, you know what I mean? But it's with the World Cup games, dude, I'm excited for today. I'm excited for the Argentina Austria game. That's going to be, I think, a killer game. And I've been saying since the beginning, I think, you know, Argentina is one of my top picks to win. Yeah, to win the whole thing. Yeah.
Messi looked good, bro. Messi looked good in the opener. I'll tell you, with a hat trick, it looked really good. All right, so let's make picks before we go into the DG3 terminal.
Why don't we make picks on the DG3 terminal?
Let's go.
Wouldn't that make more sense? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it here. I'm also going to share the link for everybody in the chat, and we're going to clip this up, obviously, for DG3, so you guys can obviously go sign up. But Ronit, if you want to share your screen, I'll bring it up on here so that we can obviously screen share and demo the platform live. Yep.
So and you want to do it? Would you like Koma to do it? I can.
Oh yeah, Koma, do you want to share your screen maybe, or like either way? Like I'm okay
Dave, share yours actually if you can.
Are you logged in? I'm gonna have to turn on my VPN. But honestly, like Ronit, if you want to do it so that you can kind of walk us through kind of step by step, and then we can maybe place the bets a little, maybe at the end. I can log into mine, and then we can we can do it from there.
Can you see?
Yeah, we see it. Ronit, so give us like the simple explanation, right? Because like I want people. Sometimes we have beginners. I know this is also for pro traders, but explain the DG3 terminal to, let's say, a complete beginner that might be watching this, and exactly what it is.
Right. So we are basically a professional grade trading terminal for prediction markets. Simple. We want to be the Bloomberg terminal for sports predictions. Our ideal customer profile, I would say, are semi-pros and pros. So, for example, if you look at Polymarket and Kalshi today, the way they grew, the platform is somewhere in the middle. It's not on the left catering to, let's say, the casuals who are essentially used to the right swiping or left swiping on yes and no's. And it's neither on the right, where semi-pros or pros would like to basically get access to data, know if there are inefficiencies in the trade, maybe chat with an agent to sort of round off their conviction on a particular thesis, and then place a trade, and eventually also automate it for a long-term strategy, right? And a lot of these terminals builders started building on top of Polymarket and Kalshi eventually in the last 1.5 years, right? So we as traders, me and Sharan, we are the co-founders here. We as traders saw this gap, and we wanted to offer a product that made sense for semi-pros and pros to trade prediction markets largely. And we are starting with sports because we've been into sports for a while.
Got it. Yeah. Love it. Okay, so what is the difference then for some like a normal user that maybe is trading on, let's say, Polymarket, like using like the existing framework to what, let's say, DG3 kind of provides?
Right. So when a user signs up for the first time, right, we take into consideration their preferences in sports. So you can choose a league, let's say NBA in basketball, La Liga, EPL, World Cup in FIFA, etc.
Yeah.
So based on their interests, we essentially show them the markets that they'd like to trade on, and markets that has an edge. Right. So let's say a user lands on the terminal, goes through the onboarding process, lands on the terminal, and wants to basically search for a game. What game would you like to place a trade on?
Got it. Just take an example. Yeah, let's go to one of the. Let's click on like soccer. Like let's do one of the FIFA games.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. So let's go with Argentina. Right.
Perfect.
So we have it's in about it's about an hour, 2 hours, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Right. So I don't know. Let's go ahead with what Kuma wants to trade on. What do you think, Kuma? What should we do on money line? He's the sharp.
Argentina money line seems to be the smartest play here. It actually already jumped up a bit. I don't know if you look at the 6 or 7 hour chart, like it like went from 64 cents to 69. So a lot of money is going into Argentina. There could be some value on the over, but it just depends on what you want to do. I think Argentina's safer, and then like I would consider doing the over as well.
Yeah, makes sense, right? So, so what you see over here on the left side is basically the pricing, and then you have all these games over here. So under game line, you have money line, total, team-wise totals. Then you have both teams to score. And by the way, we have an edge. If someone does not believe that Austria is going to score, right now we have offered a logic where we are comparing the price of Polymarket's book to the sharpest books out there, and the price on Polymarket right now is in fact better. So what it means is the sharps of the sharps out there in the market outside of Polymarket are pricing this actually higher, which means you're getting a better price on DG3, right? So let's say you want to place a trade over here, I don't know, a $10 trade. Now because other players feel that both teams to score, no price is plus 4.14, which means it's 58 cents roughly. So which means if you take this trade over here, you will win more. And that's exactly what we want to essentially find, right?
Got it.
So I'm placing a $10 trade right now just to show you.
Got it.
Yeah. And yeah, it just went through this trade.
Love it.
So typically when a trader takes a trade, there are 80% of standard things, right? So one of it is, let's say, the book. So the trader will look at what is the depth of the book at different price. They may also look at, let's say, what is the sharp movement over here? What sort of value or closing line value are sharps placing a trade on, and what outcomes are they placing a trade on?
And real quick, Renee, how do you classify a sharp, right? Because like I was looking at this too when I was setting up like my terminal. How do you classify how do I know, is Coma a sharp, and is he showing up as just kind of like, oh, like this is just his wallet address? Yeah, give us a little insight there.
Right. So we are looking at few parameters. I won't be able to give you the exact logic, but largely we are looking at, let's say, volume.
Okay.
We are looking at win rate. We are looking at the pricing at which these traders are basically taking a trade. A sharp behavior is very different from, let's say, a casual behavior. A casual behavior is basically like, hey, Argentina is my favorite team. I'll take a punt on Argentina to win. Right. Or let me make it more difficult. France versus Portugal. France has higher odds to win. Lower odds. France is the favorite to win. Then you will select that France. But a sharp will probably talk like Coma, right? He'll say, he'll study a bit, he'll look at the price that you are getting in this particular terminal versus other books out there. And then we'll know exactly that at 5:30 p.m. so and so time, the markets open or the markets fluctuate a bit. So this is the time that I would like to place a trade on, right? Because they are not taking a punt on which particular team necessarily wins always. They are taking a punt on the price movement. So you enter the trade at the price that you feel you're comfortable with. And then if you're right in terms of the market movement, by the time the match starts, which we call the closing line value, a lot of folks have already traded on the same side of the event, and the price for you has gone up. So you can just simply sell it. So you buy it at, let's say, 59, and then you sell it at 80, 85, 90. You don't even have to go for the match to start. So that also is a sharp behavior. Right. So we evaluate a few things and we basically arrive at it.
Got it. Coma, we might have to revoke your sharp card or your sharp status after your Brazil non-sell at 90 cents, bro. 3-0. I get why you thought 3.5, but do you think that maybe you were a little greedy, bro, or what?
No, I mean, I've had moments where I've sold too early. I truly believe like cashing out in certain situations makes sense, but you're also leaving a lot of money off the table, like so much money off the table. And I understand people's strategy. Like I know some people's strategy, they're like, oh, I'm going to make this tennis bet. If they win the first set, I'm going to cash out at 20%. And that's great. And I think that's smart too in some ways, but you also, that doesn't always happen, right? What if they lose the first set and then, end up losing the match? You lose 100%. You lose 100% value of that bet.
Yeah.
While some people, and then what if they end up actually winning, right? Like I did Justin Gaethje, and I could have cashed that out.
Yeah.
But I won 5-1, like officially.
Yeah.
But I could have left like 10-20% off the table. It really depends on your strategy. Like I just tend to stick with what I have and I commit to it. And then like even the Japan thing, like when they scored the first goal, I could have cashed out at like 75, 80 cents, even though I got in at 50. But I was like, there's like 90, there's still like 85 minutes left to go. There's no way I'm cashing this out and not getting full value. I had the over 1.5 goals. So like, I think it's just you got to stick with your like strategy one way or another. There are moments I did cash out and I made the smart decision, but it's hindsight is 2020. I did lose a lot. Don't get it twisted, but it is what it is. You live and learn.
I think it makes more sense on the markets that have like a ton of volatility. You know what I mean? It's like when you see like, I mean, like that tennis bet, I mean, like that Coma had mentioned at the beginning of the show, right? I got in at, I think it was like 40 cents, as soon as it hit 60, I sold. Profit's profit. You know what I mean? I mean, like, if I had held it, clearly I would have won. And it's kind of like, damn, I should trust Coma
but in
more
trading,
often,
you can't look at, right? In trading, like that's rule numero uno, right? Like when you sit down as a trader, right? Like the first rule is like, do not bring the baggage from the last trade into this one. And the second rule is nobody ever went broke taking profit. So if that's like Coma said, if that's your strategy, cool. You take your money. Where's the next trade? Because there will always be another trade. Always. But people they forget that a lot of times. Yeah.
I think people underestimate their own value in analysis sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it's like you made the analysis, there's a reason why you made this call, whether it's like you put money on this underdog or whatever, and then you're already giving up like 30-40% of value because you want to take this profit, which sure, like I respect it, but then there's so many times where your analysis is wrong and you lose 100% of the value. So now you have to almost make double the effort to make up for that one loss, right? So I think that's just like my mentality. Like unless the cash out again at 90 cents, maybe I should have done it in hindsight, but like that 10% is still like pretty valuable to me in my perspective. When you have a whole half to go, I wish there were like stop losses in Polymarket and Kalshi, because physically sometimes I have a hard time just selling, but if I just already put like a stop loss, then it already happens,
Bro,
I'll sell at 80. I'll sell at 80.
That's actually right. So in our next sprint we are going to go live with stop losses, so that whenever you are in a profitable trade also, you can, let's say if you're at 90 and if you feel like the match is not going your way, you can just place a limit order of technically stop loss, but an exit order at, let's say 80, 85. And if it falls below that, you at least get some profit out, right? Because when the market turns, right, manually you can't fix it, because you will just see the market fall in front of your eyes. You can't place a trade or book your profits in between. That just is not possible. I think that will go like that. Feature goes live in about a week.
Which I love, and I think this is kind of what it was kind of like take profit, stop loss, right? Like where if I place if I make a purchase, like if I buy on Kalshi on the app, immediately it's like, hey, do you want to put in like a take profit, right? Like what's your limit? Like in case it runs up, and like that's what it is, right? And this is where trading for prediction markets is going. This already happens obviously on the equity side, the commodity side, but like this is where the like you're seeing this happen now in real time. All of this stuff is going automated.
But Dave, just to hold your thought over there, right? See, there's this greed in a human being, right?
Facts.
So let's say when they place a trade, right? Nobody wants to book a profit at 80, 85. Everybody wants 100, right? Nobody wants at 85. The problem is that when you're at 90, 95, and then when it goes down the other way, right? That's the moment when you want that profit to be booked, right? Just like a safeguard and a guardrail. I'll give you one example in this high scoring match of Netherlands versus Sweden, right? I played safe. I put over 1.5, and then I saw the goal. I think they scored a goal in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Then I changed it to over 3.5. Again, I made money. Again, I changed it to over 5.5. I was doing all of that inside the match, right? And I was making money. But here's that greed that comes into
eventually.
the picture, right? And then I placed a trade at over 6.5, right? And it did not cross that, and I just lost that money over there so much. Oh man, I tell you,
Ronan, I had the same issue with Morocco versus
Brazil.
No, Morocco versus who did they play right after?
Oh my God. Not the U.S.A. Oh my God.
Who did Scotland? They
Scotland,
scored in like the second minute, and I was like, all right, over ladder, let's go. Over 2.5. And then ended up 1-0. They scored in the second minute. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, there's the greed factor, boys. Sometimes you gotta know when to just book your profits, walk away, on to the next one, you know? Renee went from over 1.5 to over fucking 6.5, bro. Like, come on, man. Where are we going? Renee, I did want to ask you, because like as I'm seeing like the way the terminal is set up here, right? Like I'm looking at the trades, and for me as a trader, this was one of the biggest things is like watching the tape and watching the prints. And I don't think a lot of people do this as well, because there's so much insight to be gained. And just looking at this, right? There was, if you scroll up a little or scroll down a little bit, there was like 4 different buys for like 1.3K of the no. I think it was at like 54 cents. On this exact one. If you want to just, I don't know if you want to scroll down on the ticker on the side, but it was on the trades tab. Yeah. See that 1.3K, 1.3K, 1.3K. Somebody is consistently coming in and buying the no, right? At 53 cents. So like I'm seeing $40, $3, $5, but then 1.3K, 1.3K, 1.3K. That to me is like, okay, here's another little checkbox where I'm like, where am I going with my trade? And like that's another like Como was saying, if you wherever your strategy is, that to me, that's part of my strategy. Is I love watching the tape and who's buying what where.
Right. And you can in fact filter it also based on if you want to look at the buy volume, sell volume, last 1 hour, last 24 hours, right? So typically the idea was largely that 80% of traders have standard process to look at forming a conviction. So this panel is about forming a conviction on, you look at the depth of the book, you look at the sharp behavior, and then you look at the trades, which includes, like we just spoke about, right? That somebody is buying those on Austria. Once that's also done, every trader is obviously unique. So they will have their own open-ended questions, right? And those open-ended questions can be handled by basically a smart sports-based LLM, which is an open-ended chat with basically the agent over here, and then finish that conviction gap that they had in their brain, and then place a trade. Right now we don't have the automate on, but once you will see an automate section here where you can type your strategy in English, and we will convert those English keywords or labels into code. Deploy the code will allow you to backtest it so that largely it fills exactly the way you would want it to, and then deploy the code basically on prod. Right? So that's where we want to go.
Got it.
Hey, Ronan, can I ask you a question? I think one of the things that I personally struggled with was like discovery a little bit here, just because when you go on the main page, you kind of almost have to like search things a little bit more like search for specific games or stuff like that. Can you let me know how does the deck work? Can the deck have multiple games where, because right now it seems like it's like on an individual game basis. Like I would love to figure out if there's a way in the future, or if not, if it doesn't happen now, where it's like I want a deck where I could just like add games or like just look at games based on like the World Cup or something like that, if that makes sense. Because at times it is a little difficult to figure out like how Polymarket, you just say like sports, soccer, and then you see all the games. Like, I don't know if there's a good way to do that on DG3. So that was the part. I don't know if that was intentional, where it's like on a terminal you want to be very hyper fixated on a one game or things like that, or is it just I believe a feature, or is it a product that needs to get developed here? Yeah, I think that's the one.
Ronnie, I believe what you told us was like this. The platform was meant specifically for when you come to the platform, you know what you're coming to the platform to essentially put a prediction on. Yeah.
But I'd like to basically take up Coma on that point, right? So it's a mix of both, right? So the way to look at it is, so in fact today or yesterday we just went we just put a video on Twitter on how to use decks largely. What is the best way you can essentially create new decks? So, Koma, we want to reach the place where you are expecting us to reach. So that means I accept that it's basically not a finished product on the deck part of it. But here, our objective is to not show users markets that are trending. We want to show users markets that they prefer to trade in. And of course, nobody knows the exact market they would like to trade on, but largely, let's say FIFA World Cup or Wimbledon. I think Wimbledon qualifiers go live today, by the way. And and then we essentially show them the markets that they are interested in over here, right? Having said that, of course, the deck product is not fully ready yet, but I'll just quickly show it to you, right? Let's say
I only bring it up because I think the deck has a lot of good potential. And like I like the idea of having multiple decks. And I think Dave, you mentioned like being a trader, like there's some like multi decks and stuff like that. So but I only brought it up because you're right. Like at the end of the day, if it's just doing trending or whatever, then it's like every other poly market wrapper or something. Like I think there needs to be some unique like kind of sauce to
so we believe that too.
Yeah,
absolutely right. So let's say I want to basically look at Portugal, right? So I created a deck that basically lists down all the markets that Portugal related to Portugal's, and inside that deck essentially we open up. So let's say if I am toggling between a market on France versus a market on Portugal, right? Typically, sometimes what happens is when you're forming a conviction on a particular thesis, you would like to look at the prices of how two different teams are faring, right? And then you may want to look at the price together. You don't want to go back to search every time and then look at, for example, go here on DG3, type it again, right? So you can just quickly look at, okay, France is at 91 here, Portugal's price is at 83. Okay, sometimes you may not want to choose France. You may want to go ahead with Portugal. So this is like the first beta closed product right now that we are going live. And then later on, we will be creating sub decks under it, where within Portugal also, you can essentially select, let's say, a money line trade, maybe then go to both teams to score trade, and then essentially choose between both the events that you would like to trade on. So that's typically how we would like the deck to work.
Got it. Love this. Wait, and Rudy, one quick question. So when I do a search, and let's say you type in France, like France, Iraq, if I type in France, does that bring up every France market and prop bet and everything else? Or is it just the France Iraq game, right? Like, is it like, I guess what am I asking? For any like future games as well, right? If there's multiple games on the slate, if I just type in France, does it come up with France, Iraq automatically? Do I have to put that in, or is it everything France related? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's everything France related. So when we are looking at search, right, we are using type sense, we have temporal search, we are using semantics, we are in fact even building. So we have a data scientist team that is essentially working on making the search engine more sophisticated. There are companies that are built on search, of course, right? But what we are trying to do essentially is make search as sophisticated as possible for sports predictions. So when you type France, let's say, or when you type PSG versus Paris Saint-Germain, right? So it should show similar markets for that particular football club.
Got it.
So that's where we intend to go. I think you will see some of it. If you don't, please raise it to us. Happy to essentially have our data scientists take a look at what's actually going wrong.
Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. Cool. Give us like any new secret sauce, anything that either like, some of the stuff that maybe we don't see in this year on the platform, what you're currently building, anything else, any other new cool features? Yeah. Or
is there anything like any competition that might be coming up, or some, some type of World Cup? I don't know. Just throwing things out there.
Yeah, so in fact, we have a super solid DG3 rebates program where we have not created a pool sort of, but we have given the opportunity to every trader to earn rewards based on their milestones. So typically a lot of reward systems that we also deployed earlier, or you will see out there in the market right now, are basically a fixed pool size, right? And when the contest is designed in that manner, typically the whales or the top 2-3 ranks take away 90-95% of the whole share, right? With a long tail of traders getting whatever is left. We have redesigned with no upper cap actually. So every trader can, based on their own volume and PNL, achieve a milestone and a reward gets unlocked for them that is based on that volume directly. Right. So there's a capacity for every trader to earn up to $10,000 of rewards individually with the FIFA World Cup. The contest is not specifically for FIFA World Cup. It's for the entirety of DG3 terminal. So you can trade on Wimbledon. There was IE Cologne which got wrapped up in esports yesterday. Of course, FIFA, Wimbledon, and I think WNBA is going on as well, if I'm not wrong.
Nice.
So yeah. So that's there. From a I think secret sauce perspective, I already actually shared it, which was the automate version and the aggregation. So essentially, what we are going to launch is a smart aggregator, which means that typically, if you look at terminals and you open up a market, you will see Polymarket so and so, Kalshi so and so, Predict.fund so and so, and other markets you'll see like that, right? So it's like the user selects, right? But one or few terminals have sort of they've attempted to solve that problem where you don't necessarily show where the trade is getting placed, but what you do is you sum aggregate the liquidity of every venue at the back end. So now, for example, if Polymarket offers the highest liquidity of $10,000 on a particular market, say Germany versus France, Kalshi offers 20,000, and let's say another venue offers 30,000. So 60,000 in total. So on DG3, you will be able to take a $60,000 worth of trade, and we will then allocate it at the back end to Polymarket, Kalshi, and other venues, right? So we intend to essentially move in that direction. So the secret sauce is not secret anymore. But yeah, it's a very tough problem to solve, honestly, because there are data labeling issues, right? There are problems like you take the user funds, you are unable to successfully place a trade. You are able to successfully place a trade on 2 out of 3 terminals or 3 out of 4 terminals. Now the user feels irritated because you sort of refund that money back to the user, right? And only trades on 3 venues go through. So it's a tough problem to solve. But yeah, what's the fun in solving simple problems?
Brett knows all about that.
I was just gonna say, Brett, like I remember the headaches that you had where it was like just the naming conventions alone, right? Forget aggregating liquidity, just being able to find the exact same market between Polymarket, Kalshi, and some of the others was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, dude. Bro. Mapping home and away and which abbreviations or which, and then you've got games that end up being postponed, rain delays, double headers. I mean, it's a nightmare, doing the aggregation side of things. But
anyone who's built it like your bread knows the exact problems, right? Data label is the biggest problem of aggregation. So the way we can maybe attempt to strike it is just pick up one niche. Let's say that niche can be only NBA markets. Nothing else. We don't look at NBA, and within NBA, we just look at, let's say, money line first, right? Which is the simplest of the lot, right? And then we pick up one event, and then essentially we grow. Yeah.
Love it. All right, boys. Ready? Anything else that we want to be able to cover? I think we have amazing moments. I can't wait to clip this, obviously, the stream up. But anything else? I just put the URL, obviously, back in there again in the chat. Anything else that you want us to cover?
So from a terminal perspective, I think we covered the discovery engine, the intent engine, and the execution engine, right? But as a trader, I'd like to say, don't trade on first team to score markets because I traded. I placed a trade on Germany to win, and of course they won the match, but I lost the bet because I think Ivory scored the first goal. I don't have any sense. Like sometimes, a lot of times, you feel like you have got the sharp behavior. But just one counter attack, and Germany plays so high, like their defense line is so high that it's very easy to counter attack Germany.
It's a double-edged sword on in with Germany. Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I had to draw, and like losing in the last 2 minutes of extra time was very painful. So yeah.
Well, it's like I was going heavy into the nerfies for a while there, and then ended up losing half my bankroll, and was like, all right, maybe we should just to go back to playing some money line and some totals.
Yeah.
But
Man, if
Coma,
I could give one alpha per show, like while live on the show, that would be like the biggest way to get people to tune in here, because that was a rush to be able to like find something at
bro,
it was as low as like 8 cents or 9 cents at one point, and it like I actually bought like $50 more of it.
Bro, people tailed you in the chat, bro. Brett tailed you, Dillo tailed you.
Yeah, a few people tailed me. Yeah, that was awesome.
Let's go. I love that, bro. I love it. Yeah, man. Listen, guys, gmPM, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. You guys obviously want to tap in. And I love, like, look, like, obviously, like, this is probably one of our biggest viewer turnouts so far. And I love that it's coming from, like, the gmPM X account, guys. Like, literally, the majority of these viewers are now coming from the gmPM X account, which I think is absolutely amazing. Ronit, it was amazing having you here. We're obviously avid users and active users of DG3. We're going to be putting out some way more content for this, but I just wanted to say from us to you, like, thank you for obviously joining us and kind of sharing everything that you guys got cooking over there, man. And I hope we're going to see you again. I have a feeling we're going to definitely see you again at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show, Dave, Brett, and Kuma. I just genuinely had fun. Just chatting about football. Yeah, I think that genuinely.
That's it. And we're gonna put out some slips too, man. Especially when you guys get that feature up and running next week. You better believe that Coma's gonna be active as hell. And Coma, we want the dubs as well as the L's, bro. All right, we want to see both.
No.
He's like, nah, only the dubs. Only the
I'll
dubs.
share the L's. Don't worry.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Appreciate it. Bread, good stuff, my boy. That's all we got. That's all we got for today, guys. Don't forget, tap in every single Monday and Wednesday. We have a full slate coming up in the next few weeks with some amazing projects as well. So, yeah, man, tap in. Don't forget to use the link. Sign up for DG3. And we will see y'all on Wednesday, man. Peace.
Check the board. Run the score. Hear this crowd roar. Polymarket won't resolve for how many more hours? Wake up, phone jump. Whole day lit, Bitcoin chart green and it fake out flip. Cow she got smoke, Polymarket got flames. MGM is sweating when the smart money came. Tip off, puck drop, first pitch heat. New clay court king just crowned the 3 seed. Parlay alive with the leg on the line. One bad tweet, got the market doing time. Everybody got tapes, we got receipts. Everybody got locks, we got the keys. Numbers don't sleep, lines don't lie. If the odds start talking, you gon' know why. Check the board. Run the score. Hear this crowd roar. Polymarket won't resolve for how many more hours? No. Dave got the spark. Coma cut noise. Bread break bread with the sharpest boys. Feature guest weekly. New heat lands. Bread pulled up. Almanac had glands. Bucket got buckets when the shots get poured. Stitch got threads when the takes get scored. Add space? Nah, that's tools in the kit. Stacking up signal, then stitching up fit. Politics jumping, crypto got mood. Mention markets moving off somebody's fuel. Trump says one thing, timeline gets loud. Iran headline got oil in the crowd. From courtside seats to ticker tape parades. We don't chase news, we catch the shape. Game got pressure, market got nerve. Price tells the story before the curve. Who got NBA? gmPM. Who got NHL? gmPM. Who got MLB? gmPM. Who got NFL? gmPM. Crypto? gmPM. Politics? gmPM. Parlays? Receipts? gmPM. Check the board. gmPM. Run the score. gmPM. Crowd loud, odds louder. gmPM. Markets move by the hour. gmPM. Stats in the morning. gmPM. Chaos by noon. gmPM. If it moves, we move. gmPM. You know the tune. Sports markets headlines. Receipts. Dave Coma brag. gmPM.